Good morning, everybody. Today's Friday, which hopefully means fire night tonight, as long as it doesn't rain or anything. And we are starting on cooking up my turkey pot pies instead of chicken, but chicken's very interchangeable. And I've started by using some pie crust. Deep dish is what I like. Pillsbury deep dish pie crust, 2 of them for I think $3, so $1.50 a piece. And I just poked holes with a fork in the bottom and the sides just to keep them down, and then I pre-baked them for 10 minutes at 350 because I want to make sure the bottom of the crust gets done, so that's why I do that. And we have our 1 cup of flour and 2 sticks of butter, because you do a 1-to-1 ratio on my roux. That's how I do it. And I have some basil, oregano, and this is our secret ingredient, curry powder. This I pick up from the health food store. I like the health food stores much better than like Walmart and Hannaford and stuff like that. Curry powder. The yellow curry powder. That's going to be your best friend in this. That's what my family loves. Everybody looks forward to having a chicken pot pie because that's when they get the curry powder. You can use it in many other things. We just really love it in the turkey pot pie, chicken pot pie, what have you. Any kind of hot pie. Pot pie. Yeah, hot pie, yeah. And I've got my turkey broth here all ready to go. Where I had it in the refrigerator, of course, all the fat came to the top and I was able to scrape that off. And now we got all these beautiful seasonings and stuff left on top of here. It's so great. And that's about a half gallon, because this is a gallon container, so that's about how much broth I have to start with. We may have to add more, we may use less. I don't know. We're going to figure it out as we go along, because I really don't have a total recipe, because you never know how much broth you're going to end up with. You never know how many leftovers you're going to be left over with on a turkey dinner or what have you. So I'm just doing this by my heart and how I like it, and we're going to see how it goes. So we're going to get the turkey broth, yeah. We're going to get the turkey broth going here in this. We're just going to heat it up here. And I have 2 pots because we're going to start the roux in that one. And I don't know why I have to do it in a pot. I like doing it in a pot. That's just the way it is. I can start the roux stuff in just a little pan and then mix it into the broth. I like it in a pot. I just do. That's all there is to it. We're going to get the broth going here. And we just dump it into a pot and let it start turning back into a liquid. Once the heat hits it, it will turn back into a liquid. And we've got leftover turkey. I don't know if I'll use all of it or not. We're gonna do it as we go along. I'll use up all the potatoes. I'll cut those up into bite-sized pieces. And we got the leftover we're gonna cut up into bite-sized pieces. And I store pretty much everything in my refrigerator in Ziploc bags. I can see it. It takes up less space. And I don't have to dirty dishes when I'm all done using up the leftovers. That's my thing. I use Ziploc bags. I like Ziploc bags. I'm going to get out a thing here. And it's already starting to liquid up. I know, I don't have my videographer here with me today. She's sleeping. For some reason this is off a little bit. We're going to fix it. There we go. Oh, almost had it. Oh my goodness. There, see, you guys get to watch me fight with my stove. What is wrong with this? There we go. There we go. Now we got that on. And my stove isn't perfect. I can't afford another one right now. So we just use this one, and pretty much only one burner works at a time, but we deal. I'm good at it that. Actually, it works out quite well for me, because since the stroke, it's easier for me to pay attention to one thing that I'm doing at a time, if you guys haven't noticed. So, that's what we do. Alright. This is getting there. See, it's all getting liquidy again. But I know you can see it and I don't like it. Alright. And I will wash my stove up afterwards. That's the thing. It's a whole thing to get out a soup holder, a soup spoon holder, and then you gotta wash it afterwards, and it's just easier to wash up the stove. I need to see if I have a whisk of some sort. Where is my whisk? I don't know. I'll find it in a few minutes, I'm sure. It's not in here. Oh no, it's one of these drawers, but anyway. It's somewhere. And my broth comes up to about half a pot full. I'm not sure how many pies I'm making, so I did buy 4 pie crusts just in case. And this is the strained out broth. I strained this out before I put it in the refrigerator. Get all the little bone shards and all that kind of heavy stuff out of there. Alright. That's good enough for when our roux is done. So we're going to take this off the heat. And we're going to put this one on the heat. And we're going to start melting our butter. Like I said, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So 2 sticks of butter is 1 cup. And this is not fat-free. This is not the most healthiest chicken pot pie in the world. If you're going to have chicken pot pie, have a chicken pot pie. Alright. Get away. That's another thing. Keep the wipes near your counter. They have cheap ones at Dollar General. $1 for a big huge tub, and we don't really care which wipes they are. These are glass cleaner ones. Yeah, well, it's pretty much all alcohol either way. So it comes with 160 wipes in these containers. One of them lasts me almost a month or so, so I pick them up whenever I see them. And we got our butter melting in here. I like to melt down the butter pretty much to nothing before I put the flour in. And sometimes we take out stuff that we don't like. And then we got the butter going. And I'm going to put you on pause for a second because I'm going to go find my whisk. I don't know where it ended up. So I'm going to go find it. We'll see you back in a second. Alright, we are back and I have found my whisk. Greg used it to make gravy, so I had to give it a quick wash. And we have 1 cup of flour in here. My butter's pretty much all melted. And we're just going to put that in there. And I will need a pot holder because these pans don't have unhot handles. And we're just going to stir all that together. clumpy and bumpy, and we're just cooking off the flour taste. That's what we're doing. And I go by smell. If you got COVID and don't have a good sense of smell, then you're not going to be able to smell the no flour smell. I'll show you. I don't know. To me, it doesn't look any difference in color either way. But it does get golden. And I still smell the flour a little bit, so we'll give it a few more minutes. And it's going to look like Play-Doh for a bit. Until that flour gets really cooked off. And it only takes a few minutes. I do mostly everything on high heat because that's just what we like in this family. We like extra. And we're going to start by putting in a little bit at a time for the broth. Kind of get that mixed in a little bit. And I just do a little bit at a time and get everything mixed up and make sure it's saucy looking. And it's going to start looking like gravy. That's essentially kind of what we're making is a gravy. I do a little bit at a time until it gets enough liquid in there that everything's not bumpy and lumpy. Because I don't want any gravy lumps. That's what I don't want. And you're going to splash a little and it's going to make a little bit of a mess. Alright, we got everything thinned out. So I'm going to add in a bunch at a time. There we go. And then we're going to give this another mix up to make sure everything's incorporated all together. And it looks like it's not doing anything at the moment, but once this puppy boils, it'll thicken up. And it'll be beautiful and wonderful. Oh, and you can smell the beautiful turkey broth and the onions and the celery that were in it before. You can smell that a little bit. And when I do dried spices, I put them in my hand first. And, you know, just a little pile is what I do. Probably about a teaspoon or so. Maybe a little over, I don't know. But a little pile, and then I rub them together because I like the spices small. I know I could get out the grinder and I could use that. But you know what? It takes a lot more energy to do that than it does it. I think my basil's pretty small to start with. And about the same amount as the basil. Just a little pile in your hand. And we got that all in there. Alright, and the curry, you measure with your heart how much you like. Now, I'm going to start off with probably a good teaspoon and a half to begin with. It, like I said, depending on how much liquid you have and how fresh your curry is, how strong it is, it can vary greatly. And we're just going to get that mixed in and wait for that to come to a boil. Meanwhile, I am going to start chopping up my meats and my veggies. I'm going to start with the carrots, I think. I really enjoy chopping the carrots. I don't know why, but I do. And we just take them out. And we're just going to cut off little circles. It doesn't matter if they're even or... I mean, mostly they stay about the same size, but it is what it is. Just chop them up into bite-sized pieces. That's all you need to do. Oh, I love the carrots the next day. They've soaked up all that wonderful turkey broth they're cooked in. And they're so awesome. And we're probably going to use about all of these. I like a lot of carrots. Well, we'll use at least half. Maybe there's a lot more carrots here than I think. That's alright. Carrots, they can also go into a hash to be cooked up. Alrighty. And like I said, this is pretty much done by your taste. If you like a lot of carrots, use a lot of carrots. We're not going to put a whole bunch of other vegetables in here probably. It's just going to pretty much be carrots and potatoes. I may throw something else in there if I have a can of mixed vegetables or something in the pantry over there. I'll probably throw those in maybe. Do the vegetables you like. If you like broccoli and you have broccoli on hand, throw some broccoli in there. It's totally up to you. Cauliflower, you like cauliflower, throw that in there. We're going to go with that. That's probably a couple more, I guess. That's probably about 2 cups or so of carrots. Maybe 2.5. At least 2 cups of carrots. And see, we don't have any left in the bag. And then we're going to do the potatoes. We're going to get those chopped up in there. And in a minute, we're going to give our broth a stir. And rough cut's fine. Don't be taking the time to make them all pretty, and people like so-called, quote, rustic nowadays. And they like chunks of food. You want to be able to see what you're eating. And we don't want to mangle the potatoes either. I mean, they've already been cooked, but they're cold right now. But they'll heat up, of course, when we put the hot broth in there. Oh, look at those beautiful babies. And we like potatoes around here. We're a meat and potato kind of family. And so isn't the place I'm taking this. When I take it, I'm taking it over to Fire Night, and they're a meat and potato kind of family too. But we take turns supplying meals because we don't want to eat out all the time. Eating out's no fun all the time. And then I get to also show off some of my cooking prowess. And I love cooking, I guess, is my love language. And no, not everything comes out perfect and wonderful and great. I have my things I can't make. Emma does the baking of the cookies because I am bad at making cookies. I am so bad at it. I tend to get sidetracked and I don't pay attention. It's just, cooking makes time consuming to me, and I am not a patient person. It's okay if those fall in there. We'll just take them out afterwards and get them cut up. Oh, it's looking so great. I love potatoes and I love carrots and I love turkey dinners. I just love food. Food person. I am so working on the losing weight thing. I am trying. I do between 20 and 30,000 steps a day according to my Fitbit. Which you would think that would help, but it doesn't seem to be wanting to cooperate with me. I do eat 1 to 2 meals a day. I know, you're supposed to eat them all or do the grazing thing or what have you. Sometimes I throw some intermittent fasting in there because I really like that. If I don't eat, then I'm not going to eat all day. See, I like food. I am one of those people that like food. Oh, and this is going to be a lot of potatoes, but you know what? Everybody loves the potatoes. These are reminiscent to me of a Morton pie. You know, those little tiny banquet pies. We call them Morton pies. That's what they were back when I was little. Now I guess they're made by Banquet, so. You know, you got a Banquet pot pie or a Morton pie, whatever you want to call them. We liked those. Those were such a treat when we each got to pick 2 when we were little. And then, of course, because they have the top crust on them, you can put your initials on top of there. That's my memories right there. My childhood was getting to pick a special Banquet pies, and we'd put our initials on them so that we knew which ones were ours. And then they'd get all cooked up in, you know, family dinners. It's not so much family dinners anymore. It's, you know, my family has kind of dispersed a little bit. We're a family of 3 now. That's a little more difficult to wrap my head around. And you can throw all the little potato crumbs in because, you know, you gotta have the potatoes. You just got to. Alright, I gotta give my hands a quick rinse. And then we're gonna check on that gravy there going. I call it a gravy. It's more like a soup stew thing going on, but alrighty. And it is starting to get boiled up. We may have to add a little cornstarch slurry. If it doesn't get as thick as I want it to, I always keep a little bit of cornstarch on hand to thicken it up. If my roux doesn't come out exactly like I want it to. And this doesn't look like it's going to thicken up quite enough. So we're going to add a little bit of this to it. So we get out the cornstarch. And I'm going to make a holy mess. Which is why I have the cooking clothes on instead of the clothes I'm going to go out with. And a few tablespoons of that in the bottom. And then we're just going to get some cold water over here. You always want to do your cornstarch in cold water. Because then you hopefully won't get the lumps. We're going to give that a little whisk up. And like I said, we may need to add more of this too. I don't know, because I don't really recipe. I mean, there is a recipe somewhere out there. even still need to do a little bit more. It's almost like stew consistency at the moment, and we want it more like a thick gravy. So we're going to do a few more tablespoons and get some more water. I know, I'm walking around my kitchen and not paying attention. But this is how cooking goes in my house. This is what cooking is to me. It's trial and error and hopefully making things work eventually. And you definitely want to stir it as you add in the cornstarch. There we go. I think we just need a little bit more. And it's starting to thicken really well. And as long as you stir with your whisk, as long as you add the cornstarch in, you should be good. Alright, that is starting to definitely thicken it. And that is what we want. Alrighty. Alright. We got that in there. Now we're going to get a measuring cup because I want a bigger one. We got a 2-cup measure because it's easy to transfer with this. Oh yeah. Look at that beautiful liquid gold. This is liquid gold. Alright. We're just going to set that in there. And I need to give a little taste test to see if I got my seasonings right. You got to be able to taste that curry. It smells like chicken pot pie in here. So totally. It's beautiful, except for we're going to need some more curry. Can't quite taste that yet. Probably about another tablespoon in there. We like curry. The curry just, oh, it's such a beautiful, beautiful little flavor. And it turns it a beautiful golden color. And yes, I probably should have kept my whisk because we got a few little curry bumps. We just smush those along the side, get them to open up, and then they go away. The cats are knocking over things over there. I am going to grab my whisk again. That curry just needs to go in there a little bit more incorporated. Yep, I make a mess. This is what I do while I'm cooking. Alright, I think it's pretty well incorporated. give it another test. And see, very golden in color now. There's the curry. I think it needs a little more salt. So, for a little salt, we like to use chicken bouillon for the salt. And just a tablespoon or so in there. Just to add some little bit of salty kick, because that'll really bring out the flavors. I don't condone always using salt, but you do sometimes. Like I said, I gotta be careful a little bit because of the oh, it's so beautiful, isn't it? It's just a great color. Oh, there's some bouillon not stirred in. Yeah, I know, I'm making such a mess. Alright. Let's give this another taste. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Alright. So now, we're going to transfer our beautiful sauce here. And I have to take out a little bit at a time. I'm not that strong anymore. After the stroke, my strength has gone pretty down. As far as my arms go, I have a hard time lifting my arms over my head and stuff like that. So, we just do a little bit until I can move it on my own. And yes, it makes even more of a mess because things drip off the cup. Alrighty. Alright. We're going to get this out of the way. Oh, we got a ball of cornstarch in there, so we will make sure that doesn't go in. See, it happens to the best of us. Oh, no, that's not cornstarch, that's chicken bouillon. That's alright, we'll just get that mushed up. I guess I didn't get all my chicken bouillon off the bottom. That's going to make it a little more salty, that's alright. Maybe we just won't add the whole thing. Give it a quick, easy stir. Alright, now that we got the sauce all taken care of, and we're just going to let that sit, because everything will warm up when we're cooking. goes in there. Get this put away and make some room. We need the room. Alrighty. And then we're going to get some turkey in there. Of course, this is a turkey pot pie, so we want some meat. And this just gets rough chopped too. And I like it in shreds. I love it shredded. If you like it diced, by all means cook your turkey less and dice it. We like shredded meats around here. It's much easier for people to eat that have a lot of problems chewing up meats and stuff like that. You know, as we get older, sometimes we have issues. I'm lucky. At the moment, my teeth are still alright. And it's up to you on how much you put in. If you like a lot of meat in there, go ahead and load it up. We're getting quite the pile in here. We'll have plenty enough left over for turkey sandwiches. And maybe we'll freeze some, probably, because I don't think I'm going to eat all that's left over by myself. We can do turkey and gravy. This is where I use up a lot of dark meat. We're not a big dark meat family, but if you put it in here, nobody complains. No, I am not the most graceful cook. I don't have, quote, knife skills or all that kind of stuff. Oh, see. Bone shard. Every once in a while. You gotta be careful on the little bones in the dark meat. That right there was a turkey tenderloin. Those are like the best pieces on the bird. And we're going to give this a mix and see how it looks here in a minute. See if I need to add some more. Oh. And I might have to do up the other two pie crusts as well. That meat to vegetable ratio. And as you can see, this is probably going to make all four of my pies and maybe some left over. Maybe not. We'll see. Get a few more white meats in there. So white and dark meat mix. This is white and dark meat mix. And this recipe originally pretty much comes from the Betty Crocker cookbook, the old one. I don't know about the new ones. I don't have new ones. I only have old ones. Look at that beautiful, beautiful mix. Oh, see, we're making a mess. Get back in there, carrots. because this side has more turkey. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yum, yum, yum. Alright. Give my hands a little rinse. Yes, it's a little bit long of a video because we're doing it without cutting away for most of it. Oh, I need another wipe. We'll just give it a quick wipe up. I will clean it up better later. Alright. Now, we start getting this beautiful filling into the pie crust. You know what? This spoon is great for stirring, not so much for transfer. So, we have this one. I love these things. These things I got out of a free pile at a restaurant. I love these, love these, love these. I don't exactly even know what they're called. And we're just going to round this right up. Because everybody wants filling. Alright, get these out of the way. Put these in my pile over here. Alright, look at that. Oh, you can't see it. Oh, let's move my stuff around. See, I love having a videographer because of this. Let's just grab the phone. Alright. Let's see. Oh, I can't even do it. Alright. Alright, and here is our beautiful pot pie that we've got filled up, and we have got it filled. That's what we got. And then we're going to take the 9-inch pie crust over there. Let's see. And we are going to put one of those on top of here, seal it up, and cook that baby off. That is what we're doing for the rest of the video. And I will see you back when it's done and you can see what they look like. So we'll see you shortly.